Here's a brief but annoying message to let you know that you could have first heard this episode 9 months ago if you were a subscriber to our Iron Filing Society Patreon offering.
For the price of a pint and a St Clement's each month, you can get up to 4 episodes a week, 9 months before the rest of the world gets them. Early access to regular episodes, lots of other marvellous benefits, and there's absolutely no adverts or brief but annoying messages like this that will get right on your tits.
Find out more and subscribe now at tftimemachine.com/ironfilings.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, this is it!
This is Top Flight Tune Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Pow, pow, pow.
I'm Sam Nifty Delaney, so what?
Welcome along to the second part of, we're looking at the chart from the 19th of November 1978, and we only got as far as the chart rundown last time, but that's fine. You know, we can look at some of the stuff in the chart today. You've got a cat update first, though, haven't you?
Yeah, Bobby the cat, who is now about 6 months old, has been allowed out the back for the first time.
Yay, freedom.
This cat is a very different personality to Nelson, who was like a kind of a weird neurotic. This cat's full of himself, right?
Yeah.
He thinks he's the bollocks, and he's been trying to get out the back door for ages. Like, every time I come out across, obviously I'm in and out the house across the Vita Modular, and every time I do it, I have to do that thing where you kind of almost slip your body through the smallest gap possible in the door and then slam it real quick, because if not, the cat will be out. And I've documented on the podcast before many undignified spectacles where I've been out, sometimes in my dressing gown and pyjamas, slipping around in the back garden whilst the kids laugh at me through the window, trying to recapture the cat. But last week he had the last of his jabs. He's had his bollocks off. He's had his microchip, right? And so now the vet's like, the time has come. He is allowed out the back, right?
Freedom.
And so we sort of gave him a little time out the back yesterday, but with us there supervising. This morning I was coming out here to do the podcast, and he wanted out, and he was just like, I was like, all right then, fine. It suddenly occurs to me, I don't have to do the slip through the door double quick. I could just say, fine mate, you want to go out? Go for your life. So he's out now, and I'm watching him here from the Vita Modular, and he's currently at the door of the Vita Modular, actually, like looking in. And
bring him in.
He cannot... He couldn't understand it, though. He kind of wanted the game. He was used to... He was institutionalised, like a prisoner who escapes but then goes back because, like, he reoffends immediately because he's not used to it, the arbitrary nature of Civvy Street. And that's a little bit like Bobby now, because he's got out. He's looked at me like, aren't you going to chase me like usual? I'm like, no, mate. You're a big cat now. Go do big cat stuff. And the first thing he did was he just went over to a spot where he usually tried to evade me, which was behind the bikes in the corner of the garden, peering out through the spokes, right? And he just stayed there for ages. And I'm looking at him like, go on, mate, the world's your oyster now. Think you're a big fucking cat? Well, let's see. You're out in the big wide world. You ain't got me to protect you no more. He's absolutely shitting himself.
Has he come to the door then, looking for you to go after him?
Yeah, and now, he's disappeared now, but a moment ago, he just eventually came out from behind the bike, came over, all sheepish to the door of the Vita Modular, and put his little paw up like, please come and chase me.
Are we not doing the capture thing today?
I don't want to just play on my own. So, I don't know where he's gone now. I mean, what I've prepared the kids for, because they won't know this, because they were... I mean, Len wasn't even born when we first got Nelson, and Coco was, when Nelson was a kitten, Coco was not yet sentient. My daughter wasn't sentient. And so...
wasn't cat sentient.
No, she wasn't cat sentient yet. So they won't remember, and actually Nelson didn't do much of this, but I said, look, sure as eggs is eggs, this cat will disappear on us for a long period, and we will shit ourselves and assume we've lost him forever.
And he'll come back.
That is what cats do. I said, I've had it happen to me with every fucking cat I've ever owned, right? And every time it happens, the experience teaches me nothing. Every time I shit it and think that's it, the cat is dead or has been catnapped, right?
Yeah.
Or has just moved to another country. Sometimes you think that, don't you? You think they've just decided, fuck this. I can see the way the economy's going. I can see the toxic atmosphere that is brewing in the post-Brexit hellscape in the context of the cultural wars, etc. and that's me. I'm gone for a new life in Canada.
Well, there was this excellent cat round the corner from my ex-wife's house called Peter. I don't know if I've talked about him before.
No,
this is
good
ages
name for
ago.
a cat.
And he belonged to, I mean, cats, cats decide who they belong to.
Yeah.
But he temporarily belonged to my daughter's friend's auntie. So we had kind of updates on Peter's comings and goings.
Yeah.
And Peter had just turned up one day, didn't know where from, decided, I'm living here now.
Yeah.
All right, get used to it.
Put the
And
kettle
they're
on,
like, fine.
cunts.
Yeah, he'll fight. We'll call you Peter.
Put the kettle on. I'm knackered. I'm going to pop up my paws on this stool.
Yeah. I'm Peter. Nice to meet you. Very good. Yeah. I like it round here. Nice looking house you've got.
I'll be taking the
settle
back
here.
bedroom because it's
Yeah.
I've scoped them all out, and I believe that is the quietest, and I do like quiet.
And he was really, really friendly. If you were like walking up the street or anything and he was there, he'd come over and have a bit of a chat with you all the time. But there was one time he was scratching at my ex's front door. He was trying to get in the house because the other cats, her cats, were in there, and he wanted to come in and hang out with their cats. You know what I mean? Sometimes he'd go in the back garden, he'd hang around with the cats.
A little bit of
very gregarious.
He's a social catting.
He disappeared one day for a couple of days, and then the daughter whose house he lived in was walking up to school up the road and saw him sitting in the living room window of this house, this random house up the street.
Classic.
Hello, I'm here now. I'm living here for a bit.
This place? Oh no, it's my other home. Might be my permanent home. Haven't decided. Might come back, might not.
And they knocked on the door and said, "You've got our cat." And they went, "No, it's our cat."
Yeah.
No, he's our cat.
Yeah.
And the police had to be called in the end
Really?
to retrieve Peter and take him back to his original house around the
how
corner.
was it resolved? I mean, how do you prove it's your cat and not the other people's
they had
cat?
him for like a year or so, and they had like vets records and all that kind
Right,
of thing.
okay,
And
all right.
and he'd just kind of been popping into this other house.
I am
just,
wondering how the police
taking advantage.
How the police
I think
how
he
the
might
police
have been-
would come to a verdict on that, like whether
I think he was chipped and all that sort of
Right,
thing.
yeah,
There was concrete evidence anyway. So
Yeah.
Peter had to go back to his first home, and he's like, "Oh fucking hell! All right, fair enough." But then, I think it was 2 years ago, there was some horrific winds and trees blown over and all sorts, really bad hurricane levels. The sort of thing that Jimmy Graves would get upset about on TVM. And Peter disappeared, didn't come back, and we just think he just got blown off course.
Yeah, blown away.
Found somewhere else to live.
With any luck, he'd have been blown to a different country. I mean, that's there in the northeast. It's not that far across to Scandinavia.
This is it. Yeah,
So-
he's in Norway or Denmark or something.
Yeah.
He'll have got caught up in a tornado and just taken off to a new
To
location.
be honest, it is a much better life for a cat in Denmark than it is in England.
Oh yeah,
He'll be living a much better quality of life. There's all sorts
better
of
for everybody.
There's a lot of public services for cats in Denmark.
Lots of grants for projects and things, don't they?
Yeah, and education.
Yeah.
Like a cat might want to broaden its horizons and retrain as a web designer, right?
Yeah.
The Danish government, it's very easy for you to apply and get a loan as a cat out
And
there.
there's no tuition fees for cats either, is there?
Of course not,
For higher
no.
education.
No, the loan covers your living expenses while you're there because it's mainly
Yeah.
campus based.
And obviously, if you don't get a job that pays well enough, you'd have to pay it back. So
No, they write it off. They think
the
it's
threshold's
worth
a lot
it.
higher. Yeah.
Yeah, they think overall it's worth it. It's value to the taxpayer because one of the most successful countries for web design, Denmark.
Yeah.
No coincidence.
By cats.
Join the dots, cunts. As the Danish Prime Minister said recently in a speech to the
the EU.
to the other countries. Yeah, we've been training cats as web designers for free for years in our country. And is our web design economy thriving? Yes, it is. Join the dots, cunts. Next question.
Next question. So Peter, I don't know where he is now. I'm certain that he'll be just living his best life somewhere else, probably somewhere else in Sunderland. But the worst thing about it is he's almost certainly not called Peter anymore, which I think is an excellent name for a cat.
Right.
But you can't control these things, can you?
I think that my mum's been through a similar situation with one of her former cats. She found out that another family, not a family, but a group of students who were living in the road behind my mum's road.
Right.
Like their back garden backs onto my mum's house, if you see what I mean. And the cat has like gone over the wall, had a look around, thought this is nicer. I might have a little go here, but it was very much living a double life, like a bigamist, basically. It was a bigamist.
That's what they do. Yeah.
And my mum found out, and my mum was fuming about it. And I said, Mum, that's just the life of a cat owner. You've got to just accept it.
That's what it is.
She wasn't angry with the cat. She was angry with the other family. I said, well, they don't fucking know. Well, if a cat comes into your house and starts meowing, meow, meow, where's cats? Where's cats? A lovely tasty fish, maybe. Right. That's what they do, don't they? And you're going to go, well, this is a lovely cat. I'm going to see if I've got a fish anywhere. I might have a fish in the freezer. I'll defrost it for the cunt. You're not going to go, fuck off. You're not our property. And therefore, maybe, I bet Tories do that. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, of course, yeah.
The Tories, I mean, if you think about it, right, if you're a Tory, your whole vibe is, why should I contribute to help other people that are not my direct responsibility, right?
Yeah, of course.
They see, you know, like they don't join the dots. They want to spend some time in Denmark. They don't join the dots between the welfare of others and the welfare ultimately of themselves in a nicer, kinder, more productive community.
Yeah.
And so presumably, and if you're a Tory, get in touch and let us know. If a cat comes to your door and it's not your cat, it's wearing a collar, right? You know the cat is probably someone else's, right? Or maybe it's not wearing a collar, so you can't be sure. You know, like perhaps an immigrant who's come in a small boat and there's no papers and you're not sure whether it's whether the immigrant is a legitimate refugee or not. But either way, they're clearly hungry and they're looking for snacks. Now, if you're a nice person, you're like, yeah, come in, I'll give you a snack, fuck it. Right? I don't need a starving cat meowing around dying. I'll feed you. And also, I have love in my heart. If you're a Tory, presumably you just tell the cat to do one.
Yeah, you just say, what's your contribution?
You're not my responsibility. Well, I've got my own cats. I'm not fucking feeding you. You're someone else's.
They have their own cats. They'll have dogs.
Oh, yeah. I've got my dogs.
Yeah,
my
they'll have
thoroughbreds.
Labradors, probably.
Yeah. I need to feed William and Kate, my dogs. I was walking along I was walking along on Saturday with my son, and two posh people walked past me. They had dogs, probably were Labradors, and the woman was muttering something. As they got closer, I could just hear the man. They were Tories, you could tell, because they were wearing Tory clothes. And one of them went, and the man was going, yes, I understand. Yes, no, I know exactly who you mean, right? And as they walked, but he was sort of looking down, and as they walked past, I heard her say, a rampant anti-royalist, quite pointedly. And it might be all the drugs I took when I was younger, but I became convinced they were talking about me. I looked round over my shoulder. A rampant anti-royalist. And I was thinking, how would they know that I'm a rampant anti-royalist? Anyway, I'm not rampant. I'm just like, I like the Queen. I like King Charles. I'm not rampant anti-royalist. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm not going to storm the palace gates. I just think in an ideal society where we believed in equality, we wouldn't have an unelected head of state, would we? And give them all the money. It makes no sense. That's not rampant. That's common sense, isn't it? Well, it's rampant as far as we're concerned. Good day to you, young man.
What about tradition?
Yeah. All right. Oh, well, agree to differ. All the best.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you're probably a local celebrity now. You're on one of the lower rungs of the ladder, below Lineker, Brandreth, Le Bon, Rice.
Oh, update on local celebrity goings on.
Excellent. We will get round to the subject of the podcast eventually.
Well, first of all, I think I am on the lower rung because my book was in the window of Barnes Bookshop, stood up, and it said, signed by local author. But
even with a swear word on it?
Yes, which I was really honoured by. That was for about the first 4 weeks. Now time's passed, so the buzz has declined a little bit, although I would urge anyone listening who hasn't yet bought a copy of the book, to buy a copy of the book, and you can buy it from anywhere, Amazon, Waterstones, whatever, but get it from Barnes Bookshop, because then I go and sign and inscribe it. And they've still got it inside on the table, you know, the display table, and they've got it propped up, right? And it's propped up, and it still says signed by author on the cover. So I think that's quite good. But next to it, propped up, yeah, you guessed it, your friend and mine, fucking Brandreth's book about, you know, his book that he's promoting at the same time as mine, competing for real estate in the local bookshop. You know what it's about? It's about the fucking Queen. And I'm like, fuck off, Brandreth. You turned that round a bit quickly, haven't you?
There you are. You've just joined the fucking dots, as the Danish Prime Minister would say. They've been in that bookshop. They've looked at Brandreth's book about the royals. They've had a little pipe at yours as well.
With the swear word on it. This is horrible.
This rampant anti-royalist?
It opens with him being thrown out of something called a darts competition.
Darts festival of some kind. I think he's misspelled drugs by the looks of it.
A drugs festival.
Jalapeño.
Anyway, but that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is this. On Thursday, I will be doing an event at the Media Hub. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't think there's any places left on the like door, but I think I might be live streaming it on Insta if I can work out how. And as you'll know, Andy, that's a massive if, right?
Yeah.
I'll be being interviewed by my good friend Simon London, who is a production wizard.
I think this is Simon Le Bon there.
No, unfortunately not. Anyway, all of this is irrelevant. I'm just talking about my Media Hub thing. But when I went to Barnes Bookshop, I said, listen, I'll be doing an event at the old Media Hub. Do you mind sending someone across the street, 'cause it's only opposite, to flog some books? Well, I reckon we could shift some more books. And they said, well, we'll try our best, but we actually have a couple of other... it never rains but it pours, but we've got a couple of other quite major events on in that 24 hours, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, let me guess, Brandreth, is it?
Brandreth.
Right. They say, no, actually. Right, now, I'll tell you, let me just see. One of them is an actor, and I can't remember his name. It's Julian... Something like... He's a sort of a Shakespearean actor, and he's written a memoir. Oh, I can't remember his name now. Julian Bellow or something. Nice guy, right? But anyway, the important thing is I said, oh yeah, so that's the same day. Okay, so you need some staff for him. He's doing a reading and a signing in the bookshop.
Yeah.
Fine, I've had my moment. I don't want to... He sounds like a good guy, and his book sounds great. What's the other one? And she said, I can't tell you, it's the next day, but we're having to do quite a lot of preparation for it, right? My mind's fucking buzzing. Has Le Bon finally done a book? Right? Yeah. Is Lineker knocking something out? Who could it be? You are not going to believe this.
Knocking out a socialist pamphlet.
Mate, you are not going to believe this. And I can see you're sitting down, right? This is at my local bookshop. And I'll tell you in advance that I intend to be in attendance at this event.
Okay, yeah.
The person signing copies of her new novel is one Princess Sarah Fergie Ferguson.
Whoa!
Yes, mate.
Huge. Yeah. And it's a novel. It's not another Budgie the Helicopter. So
I'll just double check what it is called. Sarah Ferguson book. Books by Sarah Ferguson. Sarah Ferguson is just fucking... Oh, yeah. Do you know what the book's called, mate?
What's it called?
It must be the paperback, because it says here that it was published in 2022. A Most Intriguing Lady. Oh, that's the name of the book. And it's got a picture of a princess on the front of it. Yeah, so I'm going to be there. It's a small bookshop, and I've got a strong feeling that I will be able to meet her. I don't want to get too excited.
Got a strong connection. Yeah,
as you know, I do my course on Fridays, so that is Friday mornings, and I can't afford any more time off the course. I've nearly finished it, and I'm not sure if my tutor, who's quite formidable, let's say, will accept me going, nah, listen, I can't make it this week. No, it's a good reason. Fergie is doing a book signing at a local bookshop, and I reckon I've got a chance of some FaceTime with her.
Permission granted.
I'll say no more. Mate,
yeah,
sorry.
What's it called? A very intriguing.
Look it up. No, not very, mate. That's how you or I would call it. But she's posh, so she's called it a most intriguing lady.
Most intriguing.
Because posh
lady.
people never say very when they could say most. You see.
Oh right, I hadn't realised that.
Now listen,
what's
mate.
happening there?
The cat wants to get back into the main compound. So bear with me 1 sec. He's looking
all right,
really
fair
sad
enough.
and scared. I'm just going to let him in. Hold on.
Yeah, no problem. I'll just fill in while Sam. I'm just watching him now going out of the Vita Modular and across the garden towards the rear of the Delaney main area, the compound, and I can hear him just chattering to the cat there on a quick word update on what the cat has been doing. Bobby, of course. Sam is now re-entering the Vita Modular. You might have heard the door click closed there, and he's now putting his headphones back on, and there he's back with us. I've just filled in there by commentating on what was going on.
Did you see me?
I just saw you go out of the door.
He was waiting by the back door.
With him?
Yeah, I was, because this is classic catting behaviour. He was waiting by the back door, really sad, sort of scratching at the door for ages. So I thought I'd better go and let him in. What happened when I went over and opened the door? He ran away.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the thrill of the chase.
I caught him anyway and put him in, because then I've got a bit of peace of mind.
Your fucking shenanigans. Good.
So, Sarah Ferguson. I hope to be able to report back on that, perhaps on Friday's episode, if everything goes according to plan.
That's brilliant.
It's good
content, she is
that.
a most intriguing lady because, of course, she continues to live with her ex-husband, who is the nonce master general of the royal family.
She lives with him? No way. Really?
Yeah, they live together again, don't they?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they got back together. I don't know if they're officially a couple or anything.
So they're not
like,
having it off? They're just sort
of...
Well,
who knows? Who knows what goes on? How many secrets there are?
It's not our business, is it?
Well, it is, because we pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that considering we pay for their Johnnies, we pay for your Johnnies. That's what I'd say. Hey, listen, what's going on with you and Prince Andrew? Because we pay for the Johnnies at the end of the day. We've got a right to know.
They do. They reside together at the Royal Lodge. I've just put in to Google Sarah Ferguson and Andrew, and the top result is a story from Hello Magazine's website, which appeared 19 hours ago. I'll give you the headline. Tell me, you can mark it out of 10 if you want to, Sam. Sarah Ferguson hints the home she shares with ex-Prince Andrew is haunted by the Queen.
We'll do a whole episode on this. That's a 10.
This story.
That's a 10. And again, imagine if I get to see her on Friday, then that's something I could try and engage her with. A brilliant conversation. Wouldn't it? What's all this
about it?
Hello. Do you think it's all right for me to call her sweetheart? She's quite of the old school. She might be all right with that sort of banter, mightn't she?
Or do you think what we should do is
more appropriate?
This story, we will look at it in depth on our live video stream that we're going to do
tonight. Yeah,
tonight. By the time this goes out, we'll have done it. You'll have missed it, but if you're Turbo, you can catch up, watch again,
and we'll have discussed this story.
Provide.
Yeah,
I will have discussed it. So look out for that. If you're not Turbo, become Turbo.
And then you get this kind of extra content.
Of course you will. So yeah, we'll park that, as they say, until the live video stream. We'll do it in vision. We should have a quick look at something on this chart, I guess, before we finish.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a cracking chart. Usually we don't talk about chart and talk about other things such as Cats and Fergie when the chart's shit and we can't be bothered. But actually, 1978 is always... When the Blob chooses in the 1978 chart, you know there's going to be good content, right?
There's going to be some good stuff. I mean, looking at number one. The number one single was the second 7-inch single that I ever owned as a child. The first one, a bit embarrassing, was Leo Sayer, When I Need You. Oh. When I need you.
It's a good song,
hold out my hands and I touch you. And all that. I had a choice between that and David Soul's LP, and I opted for the 7-inch single, which is idiotic because there's 10 songs on an LP.
No, I know, but when you're a kid, you think, 10 songs, I won't have time for that. I've got other shit to be doing, like playing outdoors. One song will do me.
Well,
that's genuinely what I thought. I didn't think that I would want, when I was a kid, I didn't want albums, I wanted singles, because I thought, who's going to sit and listen to the whole album? Fuck that.
Yeah, a load of songs that I don't know.
Yeah.
That haven't been singles. They can't be any good if they weren't singles.
Exactly, yeah.
Otherwise, they would have been singles. So, yeah, I upped it to the Leo set. And the second one, which I still remember to this day, I got bought for me in Newcastle by me gran. And I've just realised this will have been about 3 months after my granddad died.
Oh.
I must have took her out to Newcastle for a nice day out to lift their spirits.
And she, but come on, you can take me out and buy me a record. That'll cheer you up.
So she bought this. She bought Rat Trap by the Boomtown Rats, which was number 1 at the time. And I loved it. It's a long song as well. It's like nearly 5 minutes long. And of course, there's that memorable Top of the Pops clip where it got to number 1 and it knocked John Travolta and Olivia Newton-Bomb off the top of the charts after something like 9 weeks of
Summer Lovin', was it? Summer Nights?
No, You're the One That I Want.
Oh, yeah.
And Bob Geldof tore up a picture of Travolta and Neutron Bomb.
Unnecessary.
In a kind of big punk gesture.
Pathetic, in my opinion.
Their time is over. It's like when
come on.
And of course, Sinead O'Connor aped this by tearing up a picture of the Pope, didn't she?
Yeah, that's a bit offensive.
Later. Yeah. That's where she got the idea, though. I think Bob Geldof ripping up the picture of.
He was probably on the blower to her, saying, if you want to get a bit more, if you want to get yourself back in the papers, do yourself a favour and rip up a picture of someone.
Someone sacred.
She's like who? He went, I don't know, John Travolta, someone like that. And she's gone, gotcha, leave it with me. And then he's watching, thinking, this will be interesting. Then she's walked onto stage and he's suddenly seen her produce a picture of the Pope. And he's gone, no, that's not what I fucking meant, Sinead. Jesus Christ.
She's thought, who's the 1990s version of Travolta? It's the Pope.
It's got to be the Pope.
Rip the picture up. And of course, you've seen the clip of them doing it on Top of the Pops where Geldof plays the candelabra like a saxophone.
No, I'm not familiar with any of this. Of this clip. I'll look it out.
Haven't watched enough Top of the Pops compilation episodes on a Friday night on BBC 4.
No, I don't think I have.
Slowly sipping on Continental Strength lagers.
No.
I have. It hasn't been a wasted life. It's all coming home to roost now. So there was a candelabra on the piano of the pianist, of course, whose name was Johnny Fingers. It's a great name. He played this candelabra, and I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and it said that he'd been forbidden to play the saxophone on the video for the song by the Musicians Union, who were incredibly powerful back then.
Wow.
So he couldn't play it because he hadn't played it on the record, so therefore he wasn't allowed to be seen to be playing it in the video or on Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
So
I think
he
that's
saw the
fair.
candelabra.
I'm with the Union on that one.
Yeah. And he put his mouth to it and played with it. It says the impact came home when during the next few British gigs, kids pulled out candelabras from nowhere and began playing them during the sax solo in Rat Trap. That sounds very implausible. Kids are sourcing candelabras and taking them to Boomtown Rats gigs.
Yeah, kids can't.
I'm sorry, Bob. You've made that up. It's no wonder Paula left you for Michael Hutchins.
You're a fraud, Michael. Remember that. I can't believe, after everything that Bob Geldof's done, ripping up the picture of John Travolta, then doing Live Aid, then swearing on Live Aid and at other times, all these different wonderful things that he's done. The thing that you'll most remember him for is his Metropolitan Elite Flotilla on the Thames.
Oh, yeah.
You're a fraud, Michael. Do you remember that's what he was shouting at Michael Farage?
Michael Farage.
Sorry, not Michael Farage. What's he called?
Nigel's brother.
No, that was it. He's going, you're a fraud, Nigel.
We were in the office of...
He had a loud hailer.
We were in the office of the Currently Resting News thing show when that was happening.
Yeah, and we did it. Yeah, that was it. There was like they really set back the Remain campaign, because what Brexiters were trying to do was make out that the only people who were Remainers were fancy pants, sort of London trendy elitists, right? And everyone else in the country was really pro-Brexit. That was the idea. And it was a narrative that obviously wasn't based in any truth, as the final result displayed. But, you know, it's the narrative they went for, and it was quite a smart idea in a way, but it wasn't getting traction until Nigel Farage sailed up the fucking River Thames going on about fisheries, right? And they should have just let him do that, because it was a weird, daft thing to do and no one would have paid much attention. Fucking Geldof turned up on a party sex boat, surrounded by people, by fucking, what would you call it, gadflies, who look like they'd come straight from a Soho members club, pissed on champagne, no doubt high on the funny powders, from what I could tell. Don't know that for a fact. And Geldof's at the fucking front shouting through a loud header, "You're a fraud, Nigel!" And it fucking was on every paper, and it played totally into the narrative that Nigel Farage and the rest of the Brexiters were trying to fucking convey. Because that right there became the image of Remainers. So, well done, Bob Geldof, for saving all them Africans in the 80s, right?
But
we can't take that away from you. But I'm sorry, I will never forgive you for your silly tarty flotilla attack on Nigel Farage.
Anyway, we'll return to this chart next week. Maybe have some more cat updates. But all good things come to an end. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.